It's so nice, friends. Right now there is no wind. I'm walking, just took a little stroll up to the top. And I'm up here now. I'll tell you more about how I made things more comfortable for living inside my little house. But right now, as you can see, I'm enjoying this winter forest. This road, and that's my canopy. So over there is the road by the house. I took a walk, checked a bit to see if any trees had fallen, because in winter some trees dry out and fall. If you need to drive down in your car, you have to take a saw with you to cut them. Everything seems fine. It's really great, so fresh. The sun is shining. I'm generating electricity, full autonomy. It's awesome, and it's quiet. Everything seems to be working. The water runs everywhere. I didn't find anything critical. Everything looks beautiful along the way as we approach my entrance. We're heading up there. I'll show you how beautiful it is, and I'll tell you a bit about it. I think you'll like it. So, hello everyone. At the beginning of the video, you saw a little bit of how my day starts. We cleared the snow. There isn't that much snow this year, but still, it adds to the workload. Now I want to continue with the third part of my series about how I built the inside of my house. Basically, I have some video clips from that. Again, they're vertical ones. I captured these specific clips using my personal mobile phone, so the format isn't wide, it's just the standard vertical dimensions of a smartphone screen, unfortunately. But I think you'll still find it quite interesting, since I'll be providing a detailed commentary regarding the actions I took and presenting a collection of visual footage that was recorded over several years. So, friends, let's go last time in the previous episode. I left off at the point where I had brought in the water, poured the screed in the house, and installed the windows. And the next step was to lay tiles throughout the entire house. This already created a sense of coziness and comfort. As I mentioned earlier, I had already installed the windows, and the house became much warmer. At this specific point in time, I gradually started getting all of my local wild birds, specifically the ones that would regularly come to my house, much more used to feeding very close to the window. I made small bird feeders and began attaching them near the windows. Since I had made a lot of birdhouses, about 50 of them, I hung them all around my property. And these birds started to breed and got used to eating near the window. You'll see all of this next. So I have these lovely warm windows, beautiful tile floors, and a very cozy sense of warmth throughout the entire house. And birds that tap on the window. The next step was to make a bathroom, a shower cabin, and to bring hot water into the stove. Or rather, water that I would heat with the stove. And I had already started doing that. Supply it to the underfloor heating. So I started heating my 70 square meter house from the stove and warming it with underfloor heating thanks to my stove. I built a shower cabin, and for the first time, I was able to bathe in hot water. The water I managed to heat myself. Heat it up and bring it down from the mountain. That is, it's water from a spring heated in the stove. I bathed in hot water. For me, it was an emotional shock because all year I couldn't even dream of this. I would have had to go somewhere where there was civilization, but this way I brought civilization to myself. And after that, when I already had underfloor heating, I made my home warm. Bio-Septic is a bioseptic system that operates with 4 chambers and completely processes all biomass using both anaerobic and aerobic bacteria. That is, there are 2 types of bacteria. Some work with oxygen, others without oxygen. And in my septic system, the whole system is aerated by my air pump, and everything is mixed together. As a result, at the back of the septic tank, I have technical water coming out, which is used to water plants. In other words, the entire process is automated in such a way as not to harm nature. After that, the cold weather began. Basically, I was ready to welcome it with open arms. So, this year was quite eventful in terms of work around the property. And my next projects were inside the house itself. All of them were related to cosmetic improvements. I painted all the walls with fresh paint, finished the window slopes, insulated the veranda that I had added on. Furniture, the kitchen. I also started fully preparing the kitchen area so I could install furniture there. I had to lay tiles and bring in all the water connections. And I ended up with my complete kitchen space in this little house, which corresponds, let's say. Yes, absolutely. By modern standards, this provided me with a profound sense of comfort and motivation to take meaningful action during the upcoming year. Outdoors. So basically, that is exactly how my entire winter went. I was busy doing various cosmetic work, steadily improving the inside of the kitchen area, focusing on the small details, the drawers, the stove, and the fridge. I put in a small one and gradually accumulated all the essential things that eventually gave me complete comfort while living high in the mountains, out in the beautiful wild. I got a warm bed, hot water, and a place where I could relax and study, learn something new in peace. I started preparing for the new season, which in which I had already planned to build my own boiler room. By the way, the place where I was firing up the boiler is exactly where I'll be building that boiler room next year. That also took quite a lot of time and effort. It was a long and interesting process. There, I did all the wiring myself, as well as the entire water supply system. I did the plastering, installed the windows and doors, put in a solid fuel boiler, and did the plumbing connections. I'll show you all of that as well, how it was done. And I planned out the site. So that's a short little series, friends. I think it will also give you some interesting ideas. Maybe you'll ask me some questions, and that way it'll be easier for me to communicate with you, to film certain things and discuss them. I'm very grateful that I have my subscribers, my fans who support the channel. Share this video. Ugh, leave comments. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll do my best to make more videos for you in the mountains, completely off-grid, as they say. That is incredibly significant and highly relevant in our world today. And we will embark on a journey to learn all of this together. There will be even more fascinating and interesting moments ahead, such as the detailed story of how I meticulously developed and transformed the entire surrounding area, successfully brought in the fresh water supply, and carefully set up the complete underground sewage system. I'll be sharing all of that with you in the next videos, friends. Ask your questions. That's all. Goodbye, everyone.